And if the allegations are correct, this is no small-time local operation, but a ruthless band with connections to terrorist cells around the world and including the United States, who were bent on taking over Canadian media outlets and beheading the Canadian Prime Minister. Our first report tonight comes from Cynthia Bowers, who is outside Toronto.
Looking grim, the alleged terrorists were brought into the courtroom in small groups where prosecutors revealed new details about the charges against them.
There's an allegation, apparently, that my client personally indicated that he wanted to behead the Prime Minister of Canada.
According to a document given his attorney, one of the accused, 25-year-old Stephen Chan, was part of a plot that included plans to storm the Canadian Parliament in Ottawa and take politicians hostage, behead the hostages, including Prime Minister Stephen Harper, if Canadian troops weren't withdrawn from Afghanistan, and take over the headquarters of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation to gain control of the country's airwaves. Prosecutors gave defense attorneys an 8-page document that CBS News was told outlined the general organization and operations of what they call the terror cell. At its center is the alleged ringleader, 43-year-old Qayyum Jamal. Even before his arrest, Jamal already had developed a reputation as a Pied Piper of sorts, delivering anti-Canadian sermons at a local mosque.
He preyed on the vulnerability of young teenagers.
Tariq Fatah runs a prominent Muslim organization in Canada which promotes understanding of the Islamic religion. He and others say Jamal used his position to turn disenchanted Muslims into believers in his radical brand of Islam.
And whether it's discrimination, bullying at schools, or joblessness, it's all centered around the simple answer: you're a bad Muslim, therefore God's punishing you. If you become a good Muslim, there's heaven after death. That's the cult that is being spread over here.
Bail hearings for the defendants have been reset for next week. One common complaint among the defense attorneys, they haven't seen any hard evidence to back up these charges. Bob?
Cindy, do they think there are any more of them out there, and are they doing anything about the security in the meantime, I mean along the border?
Along the border, there is a lot of beefed up security. The U.S. Border Patrol tells us they are now, particularly at the 22 official checkpoints between the two nations, checking people, cars, and cargo. No word on how long those measures will remain in effect. Bob?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Cindy. When this story first broke over the weekend, U.S. officials left the impression that the suspects were part of a local Canadian gang. Then yesterday, we learned that officials were investigating their links to overseas terrorist cells, including cells in the United States. Well, tonight, Jim Stewart has learned just how closely they've been watched by both American and Canadian authorities. Jim?
Bob, U.S. law enforcement officials say the investigation of the Canadian cell is something they've been knowing about for months, and it was the subject of a global counter-terrorist summit meeting that took place in Washington this spring. The meeting took place shortly after the arrest in April of 2 Atlanta men charged with videotaping potential bombing targets in Washington, including the Capitol. Already, U.S. and cooperating foreign intelligence agencies had followed Saeed Harris Ahmed and Insanul Islam Sadiqi as both first traveled from Atlanta by bus to Toronto to meet with suspected terrorists. Months later, they followed as Sadiqi flew to Dhaka, Bangladesh, where he hoped to arrange meetings with al-Qaeda operatives in Pakistan. U.S. authorities learned more about the two men last November after Scotland Yard raided an apartment in London and discovered a video memory stick with pictures of the U.S. Capitol and other American targets. Those videos, they determined, had been made by the Atlanta suspects. Given the global scope of the plot, investigators from all the affected countries met in Washington and agreed to, quote, run the string out to see if other conspirators unknown to them might surface. The case was unique because of the global cooperation it took to unravel it, but law enforcement officials admit the scary thing is that this case suggests how easy it is for homegrown terrorists to seek out global partners as well. And as we reported last night, officials fear it's just that kind of cooperation that may soon lead to another attack inside the United States. Bob?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jim. Iran got its first look today at a package of incentives the United States and 5 other powers are offering if the Iranians will agree to quit enriching uranium that could be used in nuclear weapons. Iran's chief negotiator called parts of the package positive, and President Bush echoed that, saying the Iranian response, quote, sounds like a positive step. The mess that has nothing to do with nuclear weapons or terrorism, those personal records of so many people that the Veterans Administration allowed to be stolen, took another bizarre turn late today, and we have more on that now from Bob Orr in Washington. Bob?
Well, Bob, this just keeps getting worse by the day. The Pentagon now tells CBS News that the recent theft of personnel information affects not only veterans, but more than 2 million active duty military troops, National Guard, and reserves. The government story keeps changing. While the burglary happened May 3rd at this home in Montgomery County, Maryland, it took nearly 3 weeks for the VA to tell the public. Even then, officials said the theft of a laptop computer and computer files only compromised the names, social security numbers, and birth dates of up to 26.5 million veterans discharged since 1975. At the time, there was no mention of active duty personnel and no mention of a wider disclosure of personal information. But a week after the first announcement, we learned that some of the stolen disks also contained some addresses and phone numbers. The VA played that down, saying the number of lost addresses and phone numbers was, quote, not on the high side. Then, just this past weekend, another disclosure. Some of the stolen IDs belong to active duty troops. The VA said up to 50,000 names, social security numbers, and birth dates for active duty Navy personnel and National Guard and reservists were also among the missing data. Now, another announcement. The IDs of 1.1 of the 1.4 million active duty personnel may be among the missing data, as well as the IDs for nearly 800,000 National Guard and reservists. The bottom line here is the government really isn't sure how much data has been lost and can't say with any certainty that the information won't be used to defraud veterans and soldiers. VA Secretary Jim Nicholson will face new blistering questions when he testifies for a second time on the Hill on Thursday. Questions like, how long has the VA known about this latest information? And why does it seem that details keep dribbling out? Bob?
Well, do they have any idea, are they any closer, Bob, to finding where this stuff is? They have any lead on it at all?
They've talked to the employee. They can't find the computer. In fact, the Montgomery County, Maryland police now have a reward, $50,000 for anybody that can lead them to the computer. It's an all-points bulletin.
All right. Well, thanks, Bob. Medical researchers at Harvard jumped into the dispute today over whether it is ethical to clone human embryos by announcing they are planning to do just that. To say the least, this is sure to set off a political furor in Congress and among some religious groups. Here's Sharon Alfonsi.
As politicians and ethicists debate the morality of cloning human embryos for medical research, scientists at Harvard announced today that they've already started down the road toward doing it. The work at Children's Hospital Boston is aimed at eventually creating stem cells for treating blood diseases like leukemia and sickle cell anemia. Researchers are already working with stem cells taken from donated embryos. What's new here is creating embryos to both match disease and patient. Dr. George Daly is overseeing the research.
We'd like to move a specific patient's disease into a petri dish. That way we can study the disease and also develop customized therapies for that patient.
They'll try to do it through a process called nuclear transfer. A cell from a sick patient is inserted into an unfertilized human egg, which is then grown into an embryo in the lab. After about 5 days, a cluster of cells form with an inner cell mass and an outer shell. Those stem cells are taken from the inner mass and then grown into specific kinds of cells, blood cells or kidney cells, that are then transplanted back into the patient.
These are conditions that are devastating. They're painful, they're often life-threatening, and we have very, very poor treatments.
This is all theory at the moment. What's being done at Harvard is another step along the way towards producing real treatments for illnesses like Parkinson's and leukemia.
But critics object to the creation of human embryos just to be destroyed. Researchers counter that the eggs they use to create the embryos are from women undergoing in vitro fertilization, but that they aren't high enough quality to produce a pregnancy. They insist those eggs and embryos would have been disposed of as medical waste anyway. Bob?
Now, Sharon, refresh my memory. It is against the law, right, to use federal funds to do this. So where do they get the money?
It is against the law to use federal funds. So this is being entirely funded by private donations and is expected to be funded that way for at least the next decade. Bob.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon. Coming up next, the battle for control of Congress. A special election tonight may give us an indication of which way it will go.
I took up tennis. I started taking a pain reliever for my elbow. I got into biking. I got another pain reliever for sore legs. My wife taught me yoga, so I got a headache medicine too. Every new pain, a different pain reliever, but not anymore. Today, I'm all Advil. Advil is my every pain reliever. It works on all my pains wherever they are. Who knows what's gonna hurt next? But at least I'm ready. Hey, I'm all Advil.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Digger. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or the surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends. Settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. In rare cases, serious side effects have occurred in the liver and skin. Your doctor may do a simple blood test. Tell your doctor about other medicines you take, or if you have nausea, vomiting, appetite loss, skin yellowing, or rash. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
Dr. Robert Jarvik, inventor of the artificial heart.
The average heart beats 2 billion times. The heart is amazing, but high cholesterol can lead to heart disease. Lipitor can help. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor significantly lowers bad cholesterol, 39 to 60%. If you have several common risk factors for heart disease, Lipitor is clinically proven to reduce your risk of heart attack. And more cardiologists surveyed said they'd prescribe Lipitor for their own families than any other cholesterol-lowering brand. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. They may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Lipitor is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. It's your heart. Ask if Lipitor is right for you.
Visit Lipitor.com for a free trial.
Democrats believe they have a chance to take back control of Congress from the Republicans this year, and they're looking to a special election tonight for a sign that they may be right. It is an election in the 50th Congressional District in Southern California to fill the remaining 7 months of Duke Cunningham's term. Here's Jerry Bowen.
When disgraced Republican Congressman Duke Cunningham went off to prison for taking millions of dollars in bribes, no one predicted what just may happen today as voters in this 25-year-long Republican stronghold pick his replacement.
People are just dissatisfied.
That a Democrat, local school board member Francine Busby, could emerge the winner.
Thank you.
It's a sign that the party has some trouble right now. If Francine Busby wins this, it means Karl Rove better start paying more attention to party politics and less to looming indictments.
It's a race that's seen as a referendum on both the Republican Congress and the Republican president, whose popularity is sinking. Recent polls show Busby even or slightly ahead of former Republican congressman turned lobbyist Brian Bilbray.
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
It doesn't help in this day and age if you're running as a former incumbent and a lobbyist. That's like running as a used car salesman.
The contest has filled local airwaves with not just negative but nasty TV ads from both sides. The National Republican Congressional Committee has spent more than $4.5 million in an effort to keep the seat. Vice President Cheney flew in to raise even more.
I'm proud to join you in supporting Brian's campaign.
Democrat Busby campaigned on the corruption issue. Bilbray took a stand for tougher immigration laws.
Illegal immigration is the issue,
which may convince conservatives to turn out, despite their differences with him on things like stem cell research and abortion rights, which he favors.
He's doing what would get him votes.
And there is a lot at stake here. But the fact remains this race would not even be close were it not for voter discontent triggered by Duke Cunningham, the imprisoned ex-congressman who could never say no to a bribe. Bob?
And I guess we should point out, Jerry, that once he does it, whoever wins is going to get to run again in November. This is just a short-term deal here.
Well, in addition to today's special election, there are also the primaries. Each of these candidates is expected to win, so this will be the never-ending congressional campaign till November.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jerry. The economy could be an issue in this year's elections. Continuing worries about an economic slowdown and rising interest rates since stock prices still lower today. The Dow fell below 11,000 in early trading before recovering some to close just above it. The market for teachers is suddenly red hot. Now American schools are being forced to import more and more of them. Where in the world are they coming from is next.
The tests are completed. The results are in. The all-new Kia Sedona is the first and only minivan to earn both the Insurance Institute's top safety pick and the government's 5-star crash safety rating in all 4 categories. The all-new Kia Sedona, the highest safety-rated minivan ever built. And with a 10-year warranty, it's also the best value on the road.
Stu, how does new Tidy Cats litter work?
Well, each granule is formulated to absorb quickly and lock in odor better than ever.
So can I invite some friends?
Yes.
New Tidy Cats. Multiple strengths for multiple cats.
Que tu prennes une décision?
Pour réfléchir.
Pourrait me rendre prévôt.
Ah!
Garçon, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
I wonder where the clog went.
New Liquid Plumber Power Jet. Blast clogs away in 3 seconds.
Here you go, Pete. Hey, Pat.
2 years ago, I had a heart attack. Right there where Tina is standing. If it weren't for Bayer aspirin, who knows?
To me, Bayer's an amazing thing.
Just think about it. The same Bayer aspirin I take for headaches
and me for backaches
helps save Pop's life.
Bayer is an important part of this family.
Always will be.
It truly is a wonder drug.
And try Extra Strength Bayer Back and Body. It rushes relief to the site of your pain.
Hey. Hey. Whew. Yeah. You look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
It's because I have Aflac.
What do you mean?
Well, when I'm hurt and miss work, Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills. My health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm.
Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Huh. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Meet Kate and Edward Lipkins, investors.
I'm a math teacher.
I teach French.
And we weren't keeping on top of our investments.
No, we had a broker, but
he always recommended stuff from his company.
So now we invest on our own.
And I've picked some good investments.
Who we've picked.
TD Ameritrade offers stocks, bonds, and mutual funds from third-party companies and independent ratings and research to help you choose.
Independence is the spirit that drives America's most successful investors.
President Bush took his campaign for a new federal immigration law to southern New Mexico today at a school for Border Patrol agents. The president said the United States must control its borders, but he also called on Congress to pass a comprehensive bill, including a guest worker program and a path to citizenship for some illegal immigrants. A campaign to recruit immigrants is underway to meet a growing teacher shortage that apparently is no secret to the rest of the world. Wyatt Andrews tonight reports on an aggressive new effort to fill the void in America's schools.
This team of top officials from Baltimore has traveled to Manila to conduct an immigration raid, specifically a raid to hire Filipino teachers. If these interviews go well,
I want to say to you, welcome.
These school officials will hire every Filipino teacher in this room, 81 of them, to teach math, science, and special education in the Baltimore City public schools. Back at home, this recruiter, Patrick Krause,
hey, Don Antoine,
is the principal at a special needs school. When you try to recruit for special education in America, he says, it's almost a waste of time.
I could go out for a recruitment, and I might see 5 or 10 teachers. But go overseas, and what happens? Overseas, we saw hundreds.
Baltimore has recruited more than 200 teachers from the Philippines so far. And while administrators say they're pleased with the quality of these teachers, they are recruiting overseas because they have to. There is a shortage of teachers, not just in Baltimore, but nationwide. Clark County, Nevada imports math and science teachers from Canada. Topeka brings in teachers from India and Spain. Dallas brings in bilingual teachers from Chile and Mexico. At least 10,000 teachers are needed from abroad every year.
positive one, negative one can be omitted.
America's shortage is so well known, Philippine colleges offer special courses in American education.
We were trained about the No Child Left Behind Act. You know, we were given ideas, and then on classroom management.
You mean behavior management?
Behavior management.
I think going overseas to get teachers is not the answer.
Reg Weaver, the head of the National Education Association, the nation's largest teachers union, calls the importing of teachers a Band-Aid. He says low salaries and heavy workloads are driving American teachers out of the classroom, and that school systems should be solving that.
And so what is happening, many people are saying, I'm not coming into the profession. Or once they come in, they say, I'm not going to stay.
Is there a small part of you that says at some point, I wish we had enough native-borns? In some respect, but I live with what we have to live with.
Back in Manila, the 81 teachers offered contracts have just won the lottery. They will double or triple their salaries by coming to Baltimore, and they represent the future.
We'll do it one step at a time.
Because school districts have to have a certain number of teachers by law, the next boom in immigration is already happening in class. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Baltimore.
Rock and soul keyboardist Billy Preston died today of kidney disease at a hospital in suburban Phoenix. He was 59. He had several solo hits, but he was best known as a session player and on-stage sideman for others.
Sweet Lord, I really want to see you.
Billy Preston was a close friend of Beatle George Harrison and played at a tribute concert for Harrison in 2001 and on dozens of recordings with the Beatles and many others from Aretha Franklin to the Rolling Stones. And still ahead, road rage. Doctors now say there is more than simple anger behind it. The diagnosis for dangerous drivers is next.
Part of you is afraid to treat your menopausal symptoms. Part of you is afraid not to. Visit nomenopause.com. Because part of you is confused about hormone therapy, all of you wants to understand more. Check out nomenopause.com.
I wish we had a big house.
Well, I wish we had an affordable house.
Find your perfect place. It's easy at RE/MAX.com. Now RE/MAX.com offers more home listings to choose from than ever before. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Tonight, the potentially devastating meteor shower.
To hold more when you really need it, use Glad ForceFlex trash bags, and you won't have to be afraid of overstuffing. For stretchable strength, get Glad.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent bladder urges, doing errands also means knowing where all the bathrooms are along the way. The worry your pipes might leak means you don't always detour from your route. But you can take another direction. Talk to your doctor about how to take care with Vesicare. Vesicare, once a day, can reduce urges and may help effectively manage bladder leakage, day and night. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take Vesicare. While taking Vesicare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. A chance to follow a whim, not always your urges. It's not just a pipe dream. Ask your doctor today if Vesicare is right for you.
They say your footprint is as unique as your fingerprint.
It's like me, unique.
That's why Dr. Scholl's created memory fit insoles with memory foam to form to the shape of your foot.
It forms right around your feet.
For customized comfort, see the doctor, Dr. Scholl's.
Stu, how does new Tidy Cats litter work?
Well, each granule is formulated to absorb quickly and lock in odor better than ever.
So can I invite some friends?
Yes.
New Tidy Cats. Multiple strengths for multiple cats.
Tomorrow, you'd never know by looking at them, but these little girls have lived a nightmare. They're children of drug-addicted parents. How did they survive? Tomorrow on The Early Show.
Well, here's some medical news you may find a little hard to believe. I'll tell you for sure, I find it hard to believe. But a leading researcher says he has run tests that show road rage is not the result of rudeness, but some sort of brain disorder. So in the interest of medical science, here is Richard Schlesinger.
What do you call another driver who honks or makes obscene gestures or even tries to run you off the road?
See, now this is ridiculous.
The A word, the B word. In other words, a bad word?
Hey, you cut me off back there.
Turns out they're none of the above. They're victims of a newly defined psychiatric disorder.
It's called intermittent explosive disorder.
Dr. Emil Coccaro, the head of psychiatry at the University of Chicago, discovered intermittent explosive disorder caused by improper functioning of a brain chemical.
There's a neurochemistry, a neuroscience, a genetics to this problem. It's a real disorder, real brain disorder, just like depression or panic disorder.
Intermittent explosive disorder is believed to affect 16 million Americans, who each have an average of 43 attacks in their lifetime. Something to think about when you're in heavy traffic.
I won't be able to make a turn.
Lou Amber has been driving in New York City traffic for more than 45 years and knows how mean these streets can be.
If I have to bite my tongue, I'll bite my tongue because, you know, you never know who you're dealing with. The person could have a weapon.
And in heavy traffic, with horns blaring and fingers flying, brain chemistry is probably the last thing most drivers think about.
When I get road rage, it's instantaneous and it's gone. So I think you get mad, your heart rate goes up, your face gets red, and it's gone.
Dr. Coccaro suggests treating intermittent explosive disorder with Prozac or therapy. So remember, the next time someone expresses their displeasure with you in an explosive manner, it might be less an attitude, more an affliction. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, New York.
That's the news. Coming up later tonight, a special Tuesday edition of 48 Hours.
A young man convicted of killing a doctor's beautiful wife. But what if he didn't do it? What if the FBI thought the wife had a secret life?
It was a crime of passion.
A 48 Hours mystery tonight.
And we hope you'll join us tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. I'm Bob Schieffer in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Walmart and Sam's Club pharmacies accept all Medicare prescription drug plans. And at the Walmart price, you get a great value for your prescription dollars. See why more people are watching the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience CBS News.